Hey guys, Arvin Vohra, founder of Vohra Method. Today I'm joined by Chelsea Snyder on the other end of this, and she is going to play a student while I'm going to play a teacher, and we're going to show you things to do, things to avoid when teaching a Vohra Method class. I'm going to go ahead and start out with just some math problem. Let's say, no, not that one. Let's say some other math problem. Yeah, okay. Let's say we start off with something like this. Now, the first thing to do, and the most important thing over here to do, is when the problem is presented, the first thing you need to do is wait. Don't do anything at all. Now, let's say some time has gone by and Chelsea has not said anything. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, any ideas? Something like that. Here's what I'm going to not do. I'm not going to give any hints. I'm not going to say, are they like terms? I'm not going to say, what do you notice about the exponents? I'm not going to say, let's discuss the nature of variables. I'm not giving any information. I'm just asking if she has any ideas. Let's say she has no ideas, right? Now, at this moment, you're going to be inclined to start giving hints and explanation. Again, that's not what we want to do because we need to, first of all, not encourage dependency. If we just give hints and explanations, then students are going to get into the habit of just stalling until you do the problem for them. The vast majority of tutors in the entire world, and certainly in the United States, do exactly that. They give answers and students become dependent on them and are just functionally unable to ever do any math homework without their tutor. Now, while that might have a financial advantage for the tutor, it is morally corrupt and educationally incompetent, so we definitely don't want to do that. We're not trying to create dependency. We want our students to come back because they've become so advanced, learn so much, that they realize every hour invested with us pays off 1,000 times as much. That's what we're doing. We're not trying to get people like addicted and dependent here. We're not trying to be their crutch. So Chelsea says, any ideas? Then she says, nope. Then I'm going to say, okay, cool. And I'm going to send her a worksheet on this topic. Now, the topic at hand is factoring. And so I'm going to go ahead and send her a factoring worksheet. Give me 1 second here while I get that factoring worksheet. And I'm going to send this factoring worksheet here. Now, what might happen here at this point, and it often will happen, is the student's like, oh, no, I got it. I know how to do it. Now, that actually might have happened. So now she's like, she knows how to, she says she knows how to do it. Now, again, what's going to happen here? I'm going to be tempted to fall into this trap and say, oh, so you know how to do that, you just need to factor out A, B? No, I don't want to say that. I say like, okay, cool, go ahead. Or ahead, spelled correctly. That's all I'm doing. See, again, I'm not giving a single bit of information. Now, why you'll see students suddenly change is that they realize that they're not going to get the answer, and if you're not going to get the answer, you might as well try something out. They also realize that if they don't try to figure it out, they're going to have a whole pile of extra work, an entire worksheet of work. So let's say Chelsea goes ahead and does something that kind of makes sense but isn't right. So Chelsea, go ahead and factor out just the A. So it'll be something that's mathematically correct, but not not the fully correct answer. And now notice I'm still waiting. I'm totally happy to wait here. So what I can say here is here's what you might be tempted to say, like, oh, you got to factor out the A to B, not just the A. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say like this is mathematically true. But you can go a bit farther. Now, at this point, you're worried. You might say, well, if I just say this, what if she falls into some kind of silly trap? Chelsea, go ahead and fall into a trap. Just incorrectly combine the terms inside the parentheses. And now you're thinking to yourself, oh no, what did I do? I threw the student off. What you did here is excellent because now we've discovered a deeper seated underlying issue. And our goal is to find the most deep seated underlying issues. So here we've made major progress. And so I'm going to say now at this point, I realize I need to send a combining like terms worksheet because there's some issues. So let's say combine like terms. And I send that worksheet over there. Now at this point, what we might get is like a lot of grievous protests saying like, oh no, I know how to do it. No. Combined like terms is so fundamental that you absolutely need to check. Combined like terms matters more than all the advanced stuff we teach combined. And so now, can I go off script with Chelsea right now? Absolutely, but only to give her emotional encouragement. What I'm not going to do is give her any information, right? So I can say, worry. Long term. I can just say, don't worry, it's going to be really good in the long term. Again, am I telling her what to do or how to do any of it? No, I'm just putting it out there. I'm just giving her some encouragement. So let's say she watches the video, she clicks the Get Good at Math button. Oh, go ahead and do that, Chelsea. And so here, she would follow through this video. Now, let's say you're doing, Chelsea, can you call up the quarter circle problem? Okay. Now, with something this advanced, I'm going to be very tempted. I'm going to be very tempted to just start giving information. No. So if you must say something, you can just say, proceed. I mean, if you want to have that connection going on, that's totally fine. You can say anything encouraging. You can say this problem is really hard. Now she doesn't know where to start. Now I can say like, okay, I can tell you what to do, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to see what's happening with the hints. So I'm going to type hints. I see there's a lot of hints. And so I might just pick the first hint. If I don't have a strong reason to pick something, I'm going to pick the first hint. Why? Because we've put them in order. So I start with this. And then we continue the way that we would normally continue. Important thing about the hints. The reason, when I started building this program, I realized that there were some days when I was tutoring and I really was in the zone. Some days, maybe not so much. And so I started writing down the best thing that I ever said, right? And I made that the default answer in the Vohra method program. Over time, Chelsea, Terrence, a lot of them, Mercedes, Megan, Steven, we've spent a lot of time discussing ways to tweak the question, ways to tweak the hint to make it a little bit better. So we don't want to be going just kind of on the fly and making stuff up. We want to be doing what the tried and true thing. Every so often, one of us, sometimes me, will go a little bit off script, and we'll, instead of using one of the hints given, I'll just try to give a different hint. And about 100% of the time, I regret it. Why? Because the hint is either too vague or too complicated or whatever. So before I even consider going off script, I'm going to go through all the pre-programmed hints that have been thought out and experimented with and discussed. I mean, the hints that make it through this culling process have gone through a lot of review and a lot of adjustments and just really a lot of fine-tuning. That's what the strength of the system is, that anytime you say something, it's like the best thing you could say in that situation. You might have a better idea. At that point, just let the lead instructor know. We can make a note, discuss it, and that might become the new default. But really, going off script is not something that you want to do really ever. The only thing you want to do off script is to just give general encouragement. This is important. You're doing really well. Keep trying. Do you want to try a worksheet? That kind of stuff is totally fine. It's okay to have a conversation. You don't need to turn yourself into a drone that only says Y, N, Y, N, Y, N. But you do need to constantly be beginning to make sure that you're avoiding giving information of any kind, and that includes giving leading questions. You don't want the student to become this sort of like, half awake drone where they're just like, yeah, I guess it's this thing because that seems to be what you're looking for. They need to be active, and the way to create that is to just give them stuff they need to figure out. One thing I like to think about when I'm doing this is the velociraptor scene in Jurassic Park, where the velociraptors are trying to get out of the electrified fence. And what does the commentator say? That the velociraptors are showing their intelligence. Why? Because, yeah, they're hitting the same fence, but they're never hitting the same part of the fence twice. We need to unlock that inner mathematical velociraptor in each student by giving them essentially like a wall that they need to test and figure out. This hyperactive, engaged process, that's where the learning's going to come from. Chelsea, anything I should add to this? All right, awesome. So go ahead, watch this video, watch it a couple times. If you have questions, just ask me or Chelsea.